Welcome back for another deep dive.
Mhm.
Today we're going to try to tackle something that might sound a little dry at first glance.
A little dry.
Yeah, maybe a little dry.
Okay.
Database administration.
Ah, I see where you're going with this.
But I think it's going to get really exciting when we connect it to the world of big data,
Yeah.
especially when you imagine it all through the lens of a company like SportPesa.
Right.
This online sports betting giant.
Yeah, that's a great example.
We've got a whole stack of notes here, research all about,
Right.
skills a DBA needs the tech they need.
Yeah.
So let's uncover what it takes to, manage the data behind millions of bets
Millions.
placed every second.
Wow, every second.
Yeah. So
That's a lot of data.
it is a lot of data.
It is.
So I think what's fascinating here is that, we're not just talking about a typical tech role.
Right.
When you think about a DBA at SportPesa,
Yeah.
this is a unique blend of expertise.
It is.
This is somebody who can not only
right.
optimize a database,
Right.
but also understands, all the nuances of sports data,
Absolutely.
sports data analytics.
Right.
So we're talking about someone who can tell the difference between a SQL query and a slam dunk.
Exactly.
Right.
The stakes are so high
Yeah.
because every millisecond counts in this industry.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I was actually just reading a recent study.
Oh, yeah.
They found that a 1-second delay in page load times
Oh.
can lead to a 7% decrease in conversions for an e-commerce site.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So now imagine that in the context of live sports betting,
Right.
like a slow database.
Yeah,
That could mean missed opportunities for users,
totally.
lost revenue for SportPesa.
Oh, yeah. Huge impact.
Huge.
Serious bottom line impact.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's dive into the specific responsibilities
Okay.
of a DBA at SportPesa.
All right.
The first thing that jumps out at me is this phrase,
Yep.
query optimization and performance tuning.
Okay.
I get that it's important. But what does it actually involve?
Okay, so think of it this way.
Okay.
You're at a packed stadium,
All right.
and everyone's trying to place bets
Yeah.
at the same time.
At the same time.
The DBA is like the traffic controller,
Okay.
making sure that the flow of data
Yeah.
moves smoothly and efficiently
Through the system.
through the whole system.
Got it.
This involves
Right.
writing super efficient queries,
Right.
so the database isn't bogged down by unnecessary calculations.
Oh, okay.
And then you're also fine-tuning the database configuration
Yeah.
to handle those massive spikes in activity
Right, sure.
during peak times.
So they're making sure that even during
Exactly.
the Super Bowl halftime rush,
A Super Bowl,
a
yes.
system can handle that volume without crashing.
Precisely.
Wow.
And that's just one aspect of the job.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They also need to have a robust backup and recovery plan in place.
Right.
Can you imagine the chaos if the database went down during a World Cup final?
During a World Cup final.
Oh, man. Talk about a nightmare scenario.
Right.
Yeah.
So the DBA needs to be thinking about disaster recovery,
Okay.
setting up systems that can back up data frequently,
Right.
restore it quickly in case of any issues.
And this is where the role starts to get even more interesting.
Even more interesting.
Because it's not just about managing physical servers anymore.
No, it's not.
We're talking about the cloud, right?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
With the rise of cloud computing platforms like AWS and Azure,
Yeah.
the DBA's responsibilities have expanded to include managing databases in these virtual environments.
Oh, wow.
So this means understanding cloud-specific database services,
Okay.
navigating security protocols,
Right.
and basically becoming a cloud architect of sorts.
So they're not just database experts. They're also navigating this whole new world of cloud infrastructure.
Exactly.
Oh.
And this is where the blend of technical skills
Right.
and soft skills becomes crucial.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Okay.
They need to be able to communicate effectively with developers
Yeah.
who are building the applications that interact with the database,
Right.
business analysts who need to extract insights from the data,
Yeah.
and even marketing teams who might want to use the data for targeted campaigns.
So they need to be able to speak both tech and business
Fluently.
fluently. Yeah.
A great DBA can bridge that gap,
Yeah.
translating complex technical concepts into plain English,
Right.
and ensuring everyone is on the same page.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about problem-solving skills.
Of course.
A database is like the heart of a company,
Yeah.
and when it has problems, everyone feels the pain.
So the DBA is like a detective,
Yeah.
a translator,
Uh-huh.
and a firefighter all rolled into one.
That's a great analogy.
All right. So
Mhm.
with those core responsibilities in mind,
Okay.
let's start unpacking the toolbox that a DBA uses
Yeah.
to handle all of this.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into those tools and technologies that make all this data magic happen.
We're going to go beyond just listing them.
Okay.
We're going to really understand what each tool does
Yeah.
and why it's crucial for a DBA,
Especially at SportPesa.
especially at SportPesa.
So first up, we've got
Right?
this long list of database management systems.
Right.
Everything from MySQL to Oracle to PostgreSQL.
Yeah.
It's like a buffet
It is a buffet.
of database platforms.
Yeah.
So which ones would a DBA at SportPesa
Okay.
be most likely to encounter?
Given the real-time,
Right.
high-volume nature of sports betting data,
Yeah.
they would likely be working with systems known for their speed and scalability.
Okay.
So MySQL and PostgreSQL
Okay.
are excellent candidates,
Right.
particularly for handling the transactional data from millions of users placing bets.
Got it.
These systems are built to handle a constant influx of information
Yeah.
and are robust enough to keep up with the demands of live sports events.
So they need a database that can handle a sudden surge of activity when like a game-winning shot goes in
Totally.
and everyone's trying to cash out their bets.
Exactly.
Right.
And they need to be able to constantly monitor the database's performance
Right.
to make sure everything's running smoothly.
Of course.
That's where performance monitoring tools like
Okay.
Nagios Prometheus and Grafana come in.
Right.
These tools act like a dashboard,
Okay.
providing real-time insights into the health and efficiency of the database.
It's like having a heart rate monitor for
Exactly.
the database,
Exactly.
alerting the DBA if anything starts to look off.
Precisely. These tools can help the DBA
Yeah.
spot potential bottlenecks or performance issues
Right.
before they become major problems.
Right.
And let's not forget about data visualization tools
Okay.
like Tableau and Power BI.
Yeah.
While these might seem more geared towards data analysts,
Uh-huh.
they're essential for DBAs as well.
Why is that?
Because a DBA needs to be able to communicate their findings and recommendations
Okay.
to other teams. Visualizing data through charts and dashboards
Uh-huh.
can help make complex database concepts more digestible for
Right.
non-technical colleagues.
So it's like telling a data story with pictures
Precisely.
instead of just raw numbers.
And speaking of stories,
Yeah.
let's not forget about backup and recovery tools.
Right. We talked about the importance of disaster recovery.
Exactly.
What are some of the tools a DBA would use
Okay.
to make sure they can restore the database
Right.
if something goes wrong?
There are a number of industry standard tools
Okay.
like Veritas NetBackup, Veeam Backup and Replication, and Acronis Backup.
Okay.
These tools allow DBAs to create regular backups of the database
Right.
and store them securely either on physical servers or in the cloud.
Got it.
The key is to have a system that can restore the database quickly
Yeah.
and with minimal data loss,
Right.
minimizing downtime and ensuring that SportPesa can get back online as soon as possible.
So it's like having an insurance policy
Exactly.
for the database just in case things go haywire.
That's a great way to put it.
Right.
And as we move into the world of big data,
Right.
those backups become even more crucial
Okay.
because the data sets are exponentially larger
Yeah.
and more complex.
Okay. So that kind of sets the stage for the world of big data. You know, it feels like we've just scratched the surface
we have.
of what a DBA does.
Uh-huh.
But I already have a much better understanding of like the challenges involved and the tools.
And this is where it gets really interesting because those skills we've just discussed,
Right.
managing databases,
Yeah.
optimizing queries, ensuring recovery,
Right.
those are all foundational to navigating the complexities of big data.
So a DBA is well equipped to handle the big data beast.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But there are some specialized technologies they need to master.
Okay.
And that's where we'll pick up in our next segment.
All right. So stay tuned.
Welcome back. You know, we just left off talking about how a DBA's skill set is actually a perfect foundation for taking on this whole world of big data.
You know, I used to think big data was just about,
Yeah.
well, big data.
Right.
It's like having a ridiculously huge spreadsheet.
Right.
But it sounds like it's much more than that.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
It's not just about the size, you know.
Right.
It's about the variety. It's about the complexity and the speed
Right.
at which the data comes in.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine
Yeah.
trying to analyze the real-time betting patterns of millions of users during a major sporting event
Uh-huh.
while also incorporating social media sentiment.
Wow.
Weather data historical match statistics.
Okay, yeah.
That's the kind of challenge that big data presents.
I'm starting to see how a spreadsheet wouldn't cut it.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
To handle this level of complexity, you need specialized technologies.
Right.
And that's where the DBA's expertise comes in.
Yeah.
So let's start with the foundation
All right.
data storage.
Okay, and I see we've got Hadoop Distributed File System,
Yes.
or HDFS
really
listed here. So what's the deal with
And
that
this HDFS is like the bedrock. Okay.
of big data storage?
Right.
Think of it this way.
Okay.
Instead of storing all your data on one giant server,
Uh-huh.
which could be a single point of failure,
Right, yeah.
HDFS allows you to distribute that data across a cluster of machines.
Oh, okay.
So this not only makes it more fault tolerant,
Okay.
meaning the system can keep running even if one machine goes down,
Got it.
but also allows you to scale your storage capacity as your data grows.
So it's like having a safety net for your data
Exactly.
and the ability to like expand your storage space on demand.
Precisely.
Right.
And a DBA needs to know how to manage and optimize
Yeah.
HDFS,
Okay.
ensuring that data is replicated across multiple machines for redundancy,
Yeah.
managing disk space efficiently,
Right.
ensuring data integrity.
Got it.
It's like being the architect and the maintenance crew of this massive data warehouse.
Wow. Okay, so we've got the storage part figured out.
Okay.
But what about processing all that data?
All right.
I see Apache Hadoop and Apache Spark mentioned here.
What role do they play?
This is where we start to see the real power
Right.
of big data analytics.
Right.
So Hadoop is a framework
Okay.
for processing huge data sets in a distributed way
Huh.
using a concept called MapReduce.
MapReduce.
Yeah, think of it like this.
Okay.
You have a massive jigsaw puzzle,
All right.
and instead of trying to solve it all at once,
Yeah.
you break it down into smaller sections that can be worked on independently
Right.
and then combined later to form the complete picture.
Okay.
That's essentially what MapReduce does,
Got it.
allowing you to process vast amounts of data in parallel across multiple machines.
So it's all about dividing and conquering the data.
Exactly. Now, Spark takes things a step further.
Okay.
While Hadoop relies on writing intermediate data to disk,
Right.
Spark can process data in memory,
Uh-huh.
which makes it significantly faster for many tasks.
Okay.
It's also more versatile
Yeah.
and can handle a wider range of big data applications,
Right. Like what?
including real-time data analysis
Oh, wow.
and machine learning.
Okay, so I'm sensing a recurring theme here.
What's that?
Like breaking down massive tasks
Yeah.
into smaller, more manageable chunks to process the data efficiently.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And that's why a DBA's expertise in query optimization
Yeah.
and performance tuning becomes even more critical in the big data world.
Right.
They need to ensure that these processing frameworks are running smoothly,
Huh?
that queries are executed efficiently,
Right?
and that data is flowing through the system without bottlenecks.
It sounds like they're conducting an orchestra of data,
Ooh,
making sure all the instruments are playing in harmony
I love that.
to create this beautiful symphony of insights.
That's a great analogy. Okay,
So once you've stored and processed your data,
right.
you need to like bring it all together
Yeah.
from various sources.
Exactly. So
Right.
think about it.
Okay.
SportPizza might have data coming in from their website,
Uh-huh.
mobile apps, social media feeds,
Yeah.
and even third-party data providers.
So it's not just about managing data in a single database anymore.
It's not.
It's about integrating data from all these different streams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where tools like Apache NiFi and Apache Beam come in.
Okay.
They help DBAs build and manage data pipelines, which are like a series of pipes
Right.
that collect, transform, and route data from various sources to their final destinations.
So the DBA is kind of like a data plumber,
You like?
making sure all the pipes are connected correctly
Yes.
and the data is flowing smoothly.
That's a great way to visualize it.
All right.
So once the data is integrated
Yeah.
and ready for analysis,
Uh-huh.
it's time to extract some meaningful insights.
Right.
And this is where tools like Apache Hive and Apache Impala come into play.
Okay.
They allow DBAs to query and analyze massive data sets stored in HDFS
Right.
using SQL-like languages,
Oh, okay.
which are familiar to anyone who's worked with traditional databases.
So even in the world of big data,
Yeah,
SQL skills are still highly valuable.
absolutely.
Okay.
But it's not just about querying the data.
Yeah.
It's about presenting those findings
Yeah.
in a way that's understandable and actionable.
Right.
Remember those data visualization tools we talked about earlier?
Like Tableau and Power BI.
Exactly.
The ones that help create those cool dashboards and reports.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those become even more important in big data
Right.
because you're dealing with such vast amounts of information
Yeah, of course.
Visualizing the data helps to identify trends, spot anomalies,
Right?
and communicate insights to stakeholders who might not be data experts themselves.
Okay, so we've got the data stored,
All right.
processed, integrated, and analyzed.
Yeah.
What's next?
Well, in today's world, it's almost impossible to talk about big data
Yeah.
without mentioning the cloud.
The cloud.
Platforms like AWS Azure and Google Cloud
Yeah.
provide a whole suite of services that are purpose-built for handling big data at scale.
So cloud computing is becoming an essential part of the big data landscape.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for a DBA, this means becoming familiar with cloud-based database services,
Okay.
understanding how to provision and manage cloud resources,
Mm-hmm.
and ensuring data security in these environments.
So it's like they're adding another layer of expertise to their skill set,
They are.
becoming cloud architects as well as database administrators.
Precisely.
Wow.
And this is where the line between traditional database administration and
Yeah.
cloud-based data management really starts to blur.
It sounds like a DBA in the age of big data needs to be a jack of all trades
You could say that.
with a deep understanding of databases, data integration, cloud computing, and even data visualization.
You could definitely say that.
Wow.
But it's not just about the technical skills.
You're going to mention those song skills again, aren't you?
Of course, I can't emphasize enough how important they are.
Yeah.
Remember, a DBA is not just working with data.
Right.
They're working with people. They need to be able to communicate complex technical concepts clearly and concisely,
Of course.
collaborate effectively with developers,
Yeah.
data scientists, business analysts,
Right.
and be able to problem solve and think critically.
So it's not just about being a technical wizard.
Right.
It's about being a good communicator, a team player,
All of that.
and a creative thinker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those skills are often overlooked,
Right.
but they can make a huge difference in your success as a DBA,
For sure.
especially in the fast-paced, collaborative environment of big data.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here,
We have.
from the foundational technologies of big data storage and processing
Uh-huh.
to the importance of data integration analysis and the cloud.
Right.
But let's get practical for a moment.
Okay.
If someone is listening to this and thinking,
Yeah.
wow, this sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I want to be a big data DBA.
Right.
What are some concrete steps they can take to start building those skills and knowledge?
That's a great question, and that's where we'll focus our attention in our next segment.
Right.
We'll explore the specific skills and certifications
Right.
that can help aspiring DBAs thrive in the world of big data.
Okay, so we've journeyed through this fascinating world of database administration.
Yeah.
We've explored how those skills translate to the realm of big data.
Right?
We even, touched on the crucial role of cloud computing.
We did cover a lot.
But let's get down to brass tacks.
Okay, let's do it.
If somebody is listening to this and thinking,
Right.
wow, this sounds amazing, I want to be a big data DBA.
Yeah.
Where do they even begin?
It's a really common question, and it's understandable
Yeah.
to feel a little bit overwhelmed by all the different skills and technologies we've discussed.
Right.
The good news is there's some clear pathways
Okay.
to building expertise in this area.
So let's talk about those pathways.
Yeah.
What are some of the key skills
Yeah.
that somebody who's aspiring to be a big data DBA
Right.
should focus on developing?
First and foremost. Yeah.
A strong foundation in relational database concepts
Okay.
is absolutely essential.
So even in the age of NoSQL and cloud-native databases,
Yes.
those traditional relational database skills
Mhm.
are still highly relevant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're the building blocks
Okay.
of understanding how data is structured, stored, and manipulated.
Right.
And once you have that foundation,
Okay.
you can start branching out into more specialized areas
Like what?
like data warehousing, data integration, and big data processing frameworks.
So it's like learning the alphabet before you start writing novels.
Exactly.
Got it.
Now, when it comes to specific big data technologies,
Yeah.
it's important to have hands-on experience
Okay.
with tools like Hadoop, Spark, and Kafka.
Right.
These are the workhorses of big data processing,
Uh-huh.
and knowing how to use them effectively
Yeah.
is a huge asset.
And I imagine that cloud computing skills are becoming
Absolutely.
increasingly important as well.
Absolutely. Cloud platforms like AWS Azure and Google Cloud.
Right? They're dominating the big data landscape.
Yeah.
So familiarity with their services and tools is crucial.
Okay, so that includes things like,
Cloud-based database services, data warehousing solutions, serverless computing platforms.
it sounds like a lot to learn.
It is.
But, I know there are certifications out there
Yeah.
that can help demonstrate expertise in these areas.
Right.
Are those worth pursuing?
Certifications can definitely add value to your resume,
Okay.
especially for those entering the field or looking to advance their careers.
Right.
They provide a structured way to learn
Right.
and demonstrate your knowledge to potential employers.
So it's like a stamp of approval from the data gods.
You could say that.
So in terms of specific certifications,
Okay.
there are quite a few to choose from depending on your area of focus.
Right.
So for example, if you're interested in data warehousing,
Okay.
the Cloudera Certified Professional Data Warehouse Engineer certification
Yes.
is highly respected.
It's a good one.
If you're more focused on big data processing,
Okay.
the Databricks Certified Professional Data Engineer is a great option.
Yes, definitely.
And for cloud-specific skills,
Right.
the major cloud providers offer their own certifications,
They do.
like the AWS Certified Big Data Specialty
Uh-huh.
or the Google Cloud Professional Data Engineer.
Right.
Wow. So there's a certification for everything.
There is.
But I know that you're also a big advocate
I am.
for soft skills.
I am.
So how important are those in this world of big data?
They're just as important as the technical skills,
Okay.
if not more so.
Wow. Okay.
Remember, a DBA is not just working with data.
Right.
They're working with people.
Of course.
They need to be able to communicate complex technical concepts clearly and concisely,
Right.
collaborate effectively with developers, data scientists, and business analysts,
Yeah.
and be able to problem solve
Right.
and think critically.
So it's not just about being a technical wizard.
It's not.
It's about being a good communicator.
Yeah.
A team player and a creative thinker.
Exactly.
And those skills are often overlooked,
They are.
but they can make a huge difference in your success
They can.
as a DBA.
Especially in the fast-paced collaborative environment of big data.
So to recap,
Okay.
somebody who wants to thrive in the world of big data and database administration
Uh-huh.
needs a solid foundation in relational database concepts,
Yes.
expertise in those big data technologies like Hadoop and Spark,
Right.
familiarity with cloud computing platforms,
Oh,
and, all those all-important soft skills.
that's a great summary.
Yeah, and don't forget about the importance of continuous learning.
Absolutely.
This field is constantly evolving.
It is.
New technologies and approaches are emerging all the time.
All the time.
Stay curious,
Yeah.
keep exploring, never stop learning.
Well said.
And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive
Oh, I think so.
into the world of database administration and big data.
Mm.
Hopefully this has given you a better understanding of what this field entails,
Yeah.
the skills you need to succeed,
Mm-hmm.
and the exciting opportunities that await those who are willing to dive in.
It's been a pleasure exploring this topic with you.
Likewise.
And we hope you found it informative and inspiring.
And to our listeners,
Yeah.
we leave you with this thought-provoking question.
Okay.
As artificial intelligence and machine learning continue to advance,
Right.
how will the role of the DBA evolve?
Hmm.
Will human expertise still be necessary,
Yeah.
or will databases eventually manage themselves?
That's a good one.
It's something to ponder as we navigate this ever-changing data landscape.
Indeed, the future of data is full of possibilities.
Thanks for joining us on this data-filled journey,
Thanks for having me.
and we hope you'll join us again for another deep dive
Yes.
into a new and exciting topic.